TorahCafe.com.
Good morning. I have to share something with you, to be honest. This is the hardest session to do. Of all the sessions in the Kinnis, on the convention, this is the hardest. Because it's the only one where he asked the rabbi not to talk. Right? All the other sessions, talk, go ahead. Me, they give the mic and say, shut up. Okay? So to my formerly good friend, Rabbi Eliezri, lose my number. All right. And have a wonderful day. Okay. So what are we doing here? The truth is, I'm going to let you in on a secret. Chabad rabbis are notorious at having very low self-esteem. They don't really like themselves. So they plan this big event here where they get their partners, you guys, to get up there and say nice things about them. And that makes them feel good. So please, when I open up the mic, please don't be shy. Come up there, say wonderful things about your rabbi, even though you don't mean it. I understand. I got that. But that helps them come up and, makes them feel a little bit better, because during the year, you understand what this job is all about. And so between me and you, we understand each other. Since Chabad rabbis are known for their meticulous preparation, because God forbid no Chabad rabbi would ever get up to a mic without prepping and doing the things that they're supposed to do. So I watched last year's town hall. And I noticed something that was great and wonderful speakers. Rabbi Mintz, my colleague from Bel Air, did a great job. But I thought there was one thing missing, and that is to really thank the people that make our success, and that are the Rebbitzins. I mean, we talk about the rabbis. No. I mean, an applause is not going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm going to do is this camera working? Yes? Is it on? Chani, that's my wife's name. And also, by the way, half of the Rebbitzins' names. I want to tell you, Chani, that all the success at Shul by the Shore is only due to you. I love you and I care for you. And believe me, without you, we would be nothing there. You can turn it off now. Okay. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. And Stella, by the way, I mean you too. All right. So here we are. So you, our partners, I'm referring to, have made a decision to get involved with Chabad. All right? And you did it out of your own free will. No one forced you to do this, except for those two guys in the back that are on parole. You have to be here today. I understand. But besides that, everybody here is on their own free will, got up, went to a Chabad house, got involved, maybe some a little bit deeper, some a little bit more on the peripheral, but no one ever forced you to do this. And today, what we want to do in the next hour or so is to find out your story. We want to know why, what prompted you, what got you there, what your life is now about. And through this, believe me, hearing your stories gives us such an inspiration. Because we're out there, we're fighting the cause, we're doing the things, you know what we're doing. And to get some feedback, which we generally don't do because we are so anxious to go out there and fight, this gives us a wonderful opportunity. So I'd love, don't be shy, and I understand that there's a great Jewish philosopher here in the United States of America. His name is Jerry Seinfeld. You might have heard of him. And Jerry Seinfeld once said that the greatest fear in America is public speaking. The second greatest fear is death. If you take that to its logical conclusion, at a funeral, you'd rather be in the casket than delivering the eulogy. All right? And I understand that. And I understand that. Not everybody is as dumb as Chabad rabbis and get up here without thinking twice. People actually have some pride. Unfortunately, we don't. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. But I understand. So please, I'd like to start with anybody here in the room that would like to please get up, tell us your story. Not your life story. I mean, you were born and your mother raised you. We got that. We know your story of how you got involved with Chabad, what Chabad means to you, and how it's kind of changed your life. Please, anybody with no black hat. Not labeled Korf either. Chabad has not changed you. I've known you since you're a kid. Rabbi Korf, you're still the same. Gentleman from Nashville, Tennessee. Can we start you off? Come on. All right. These are my dear friends who I'm going to get to know in a few weeks. be spending a Shabbos in Nashville. Please introduce yourself.
Sure.
And tell us your little story.
My name is Colin Meyerowitz, originally from South Africa. From the accent, you can deduce that I'm not from Nashville originally. But I've been in the States for almost 25 years. Speaking of fear of public speaking, I was one of those. I still don't like doing it, but I was a president of our shul for 10 years, and so I had to do that a lot of times, and so it's diminished. It's diminished, although not gone.
You're still involved?
Yeah. Sure.
After 10 years?
So this goes back to, when did we start, Rabbi? 99. I'd been in Nashville for about 6 years, and it was kind of involved with different shuls in town, but I got to meet Rabbi Tachtel, who at the time was just having Shabbat services in the basement of his house. And from the moment I walked in there, I just knew that this is where I wanted to be. Coming from South Africa, we were exposed to a more orthodox kind of Judaism than I was experiencing in Nashville. And so it was immediately a warm feeling. And obviously Rabbi was just so warm. And it wasn't more than a few months that Rabbi and myself sat down and decided that we were going to make this more formal and form a shul. And it took, I would say, a good 6 months for us to get everything in planned and organized. But the shul started, and we started in a little store. It's not even a storefront. It's the back of a store, underneath a bar.
That's where Chabad usually starts, near a bar.
It is.
That's the number one thing about. If you look at the bars in town, you'll probably find Chabad there. Go ahead, sir.
So the bar would start up at about 10 o'clock on a Shabbos. So we had to have our Shabbos services and everything done before we started competing with the noise from upstairs.
Is it true that you first picked up your first congregants from the bar? Okay.
A few.
From
there we slowly grew to that we had to take the next door storefront to make a social hall, but we never really believed that we were going to grow much that quickly. But in the last 2 years we've just opened an amazing shul in Nashville. You'll get to see it when you come to visit us in Nashville. And it is just an amazing experience to think in a place like Nashville that a Chabad shul could go within a 10-year period from almost nothing to this amazing building with a mikveh and just an absolutely beautiful building. But the thing that I always feel that besides having this beautiful building, it's the people that really make the place.
Absolutely.
So the warmth, and everybody just comments whenever they come to a shul, it's just the warmth of the people, the warmth of the rabbi and the rebbitzin and all the congregants that just makes the place. So
thank you so very much. Please give it up for Dr. Colin and give it up for Rabbi Tachtel and all the wonderful work they do in Nashville, Tennessee. Please go ahead, sir. Tell us your name and.
Hi.
And last year you had your black hat on. Okay, it's good you took it off.
You said only people without a black hat.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm glad. It gives us more credibility. You understand? Right. More credibility.
So my name's Isaac Yitzchak Weiner. I'm from Palo Alto, California. Originally from Dayton, Ohio. Came out for college 25, 30 years ago to Stanford. Stayed there. And ultimately wound up back in Palo Alto in 1998 and met my Rabbi Yosef Levin, who's the head of the Chabad in Palo Alto and the whole greater South Bay, basically Silicon Valley. And what I want to talk, he was talking about a building, so I'll make a connection, a segue. And what draws me to Chabad, what drew me to Chabad, what keeps me, and even more so committed to Chabad, is the idea of building up people, one by one. And I think, and this idea of Ahavas Yisrael, unconditional love for every Jew, I don't think there's any Jewish organization in the world that really takes that so much to heart and means it, indeed, and loves every Jew. Us Jews, we're fragmented. We have sectarian, we have whatever, so-called Orthodox, Conservative, Reform, Reconstructionist, whatever. And I personally think that's one of our biggest problems, that we don't have a Jewish unity. I think if we have Jewish unity, we can conquer the world and do what we're supposed to do. And so Chabad, I think, is really, it's a miraculous movement that's, of course, inspired by the Rabbi, but it's carried out by all the shluchim. And as they are his representatives, the idea of us being their partners is what moves me, that I feel like I have a part in this too. I come from a secular background, more religious now, but I know enough to know what I don't know, and that can be frustrating. But what Chabad makes you understand is that every little bit that you know helps, and both as far as not spiritually, materialistically, to help improve the world. And I think to me that's it just moves me every moment of the day. It's heart stirring, and so I'm proud to be a partner with Chabad. And I'm grateful.
11, why are you looking so down? He's saying good things about you.
Anyways, so personally, it's the idea of building up people. It's built me up in many more ways than I will say. I'll keep it short. But anyways,
just driving me crazy.
I'm done. I thought this was 2 minutes. Sorry if I took your time.
Oh, go ahead, no problem.
All the best.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Give it up for the Palo Alto crew here. The Palo Alto. Listen, we've heard from the United States, but you know what? Chabad has recently gone global. I mean, it's a global brand that we have all over the world. And I just wanted, for a raise of hands, can you show me who's not from the United States of America? Not Canada either. It's North America. Come on, guys. I mean, you're just over the border. We're talking about. How about somebody here not from North America to please come up and give us a few words? Anybody here? All right, so come on up here. You're like you bridge the Ukraine, Vancouver thing, so you qualify. Please tell us who you are, who your rabbi is. Thank God he's not here. I don't like him, so it's good. Go ahead.
My name is Israel Arustamov, former Valeria Arustamov. Okay, I come from Richmond, British Columbia, which is Canada.
All right.
And originally I'm from Kharkov.
Give it up for the hat.
Yeah, I'm from Kharkov, Ukraine, but I do wear a hat. I left it in a hotel, sorry. I'm going to speak if I may, okay?
Please, take it away.
So I'll tell you the story, our story, beautiful Chabad story. So I go to Chabad of Richmond, is Rabbi Yechiel Biderman is in charge of Chabad, unique person as every Chabad rabbi, unique people. And we came to Canada 13 years ago. And I remember this time, so I came to Canada like no money, $2,000 in my pocket, all my savings. And
is that American or Canadian?
Canadian.
That means you came with $20 in your pocket.
Yeah, $20.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just telling each other to imagine our situation.
We just want to set the record straight.
The biggest shock for me was first my father-in-law gave me a car and I put gas and I came home shocked. I put $20 for gas. Horrible. So much money I spent for gas. It was a shock for me. But anyways, so we brought my wife's family brought a mezuzah with them. They brought a mezuzah from Kharkov. And they were looking for a rabbi to help them to put on a mezuzah. So our family wasn't observant at all. We knew nothing about Yiddishkeit, almost nothing. My wife knew something. Her family used to go on Rosh Hashanah, listen to a shofar. They used to go to Chabad in Kharkov, listen to a shofar. This is the only thing we did. They did. I didn't do even this. I remember when I was dating my wife in Kharkov, and one day she tells me, "Oh, I'm not gonna meet you today." I said, "What? Why?" My family is going to listen to a shofar. What? Shofar? What is this? No, we're going to shul for shofar. Come on, you kidding me? I was going to break up with her, but she didn't come for the date that day. So it was shocking.
I thought the story is going south. Thank God she didn't break up with you.
All right, so we come to Canada looking for a rabbi. Of course, we found Rabbi Yechiel Biderman, and he was very helpful, and he embraced us into the community. There was no community at that time, I guess, in Richmond. They just started. And he helped us with the mezuzah, to put up the mezuzah. And this is how all things started, And slowly we, merged into community and started to observe mitzvahs and Shabbos and everything. And now, you see the result of everything. So amazing how we transform. We're fully from family. One of you in Richmond. And last year, actually, our family, me and my family, we donated a Sefer Torah, a new Sefer Torah, to our Chabad house. This is just... Imagine. So what I'm trying to present, not like we're cool guys, we gave the Sefer Torah, but from tiny mezuzah, little deed that somebody does to you, the rabbi did it. So a few years later, 10 years later, now he got the Sefer Torah, and now he's talking to me to buy a building for him,
Oh,
I mean,
okay, so that, ladies and let's just pause for a second. That is the Chabad way. From a mezuzah to a building. So put a lock on your wallets, ladies.
Talking, he's pouring l'chaim every Shabbos morning on the building. And I told him, Rabbi, raise the money, I'll buy the building. Easy, I know how to do it. But it's coming. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Give it up for the Chabad of Richmond. Okay, gentlemen, I got to be honest. I see more animation in the Supreme Court hearings than I see from you four gentlemen here in the front. So how about one of you guys get up here and tell us your story? Sir, come on. Please. You sit in the front. Where would I like you to stand? Outside, as a matter of fact. I'd like you to get out of here. Here you go, sir. Here you go, sir. Please. I don't want to get in trouble with your rabbi. He may be bigger than me and younger and better looking. Maybe you'd like to forget who your rabbi is.
True too.
I know, that's why I didn't bring any of my congregants here. You may have noticed there's no one here from Long Beach because they have nothing good to say about me. So that's why I told them all to stay home.
It's a good thing my rabbi isn't here today.
He isn't here
No.
today? Okay,
He'll
please.
be here this afternoon, so I can say what I want now.
Yeah,
right?
please.
Okay,
Robin,
good.
please introduce yourself. And
Hi,
tell us
my
where
name
you're
is
from.
Victor Wyman. I live in Poundridge, New York. I go to the Chabad house in New Canaan, Connecticut, which is right on the border. Just to tell you what New Canaan is like, last year I was here at the Kinos dinner. We went to say hello to Joe Lieberman after he spoke. And Joe Lieberman said that if his mother ever found out that there was a Chabad house in New Canaan, she would say the Mashiach is coming. So that is a quote. I grew up in an Orthodox home. I went to yeshiva and left religion for quite a bit of time. Started when I was told at shul on one Shabbat that if you drive to shul on Shabbat, it's better you don't come to shul. So I figured that was the way it had to be, and that's what I did. 3 years ago, for whatever reason, I decided that I wanted to go to services on Rosh Hashanah. And my wife told me that she heard that there was a new Chabad house in New Canaan. By the way, the Jewish population in New Canaan, according to Levi Mendelow, our rabbi, is 700, of which probably 600 are mixed marriages. So he certainly has a huge challenge in that area. But in any event, I heard that the services were going to be held at the Nature Center in New Canaan. And I said, you know what, that sounds like a great idea. If I'm not happy with the services, I can always go out and walk throughout the Nature Center. And Rabbi Mendelow said something which was very interesting. When I first got there, he basically got up there and said the same thing. He says, listen, if this service is boring you, go walk outside. God is there, and I wish I wasn't the rabbi so I could join you.
And you've been walking since, huh?
I certainly
I
have.
got you, okay. All right. Okay.
But just to say that, at least for me, it's been a wonderful thing being associated with Chabad. I now go to a Hasidus class every Shabbos morning. I go to a Wednesday evening class. We don't have minyan every Shabbat. We try and do it once a month. It's it's not yet a huge community. But we have probably, from people that I've met, the greatest rabbi, Rabbi Mendelow, and his wife, Michal, who are just terrific people who are inviting and welcoming, and it's just a pleasure to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. Give it up for Chabad of New Canaan. Now, gentlemen, thank you so much, sir. You're welcome to take a seat. You did not win the refrigerator, but you were a good contestant. You can stay. You can stay. Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
I ran into Rabbi Engel, and at the time I had a failed marriage, and I was single, and I really wanted to have something different and was looking. And Rabbi Engel was great. He took a big interest in me. I had a son, and he was, I don't know how old, 3 or 4. And he said, did he ever have a Pidyon Haben? Well, I came from a very liberal Jewish background. In fact, I was a Reconstructionist not that long before. And I said, Pidyon Haben, yeah, I heard about that. He says, let's make him a Pidyon Haben. And we did. And he brought me closer, and he invited me for dinner. And I really became part of his family. And you know, like today, I feel I'm part of the Engel family also. Well, he had what I wanted, and I hung around him, and Baruch Hashem, 9 years ago, I met a wonderful, wonderful woman from his hometown, Montreal, and she was foolish enough to come move to Denver and marry me, and now we have kids, and he made a second Pidyon Haben for the same father.
Hey, one second. You see a track record going on over here. He's a kohen. You're paying him for this. You
That's
got that?
right. Every coins.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to just.
It's a good
if you didn't
business.
catch on,
It's a good
what he's
business.
doing to you. Okay.
So we have a wonderful community, and it's wonderful because he attracts people like himself. He attracts really good people. And it's wonderful to be around the shul because of that. The Rebbetzin, my wife tells me, you know, she works very hard at home, and she takes care of the kids, and she loves to entertain and open our house up, and Hachnosis Orchim is very important to her. And I says, boy, you do a lot of work. She says, yeah, every time I do all this work, I think of Rebbetzin Engel. She raised 12 kids. She has her house open all the time. She makes the kiddush at the shul and never complains. She's my role model. So his wife has made my life better.
Did you get that? Did you get that? Okay, just want to make sure. Thank you. You know what? We haven't heard from the guys in the back of here. There's 3 guys over here smiling around everything over here.
My name is Bernardo Kelmanson, and I am from Uruguay, South America. My relationship with Chabad started many years ago. I had a health problem, and many times they come to pray for me and to help me in the spiritual way. So after that, I started visiting them and going to the Kabbalat Shabbat and everything. Many friends of mine that are more intelligent than me, they told me that they are looking for something from me. Maybe money, maybe I don't know what.
Definitely not money.
No, it's okay.
We don't take money.
So
Bitcoin,
you know me.
Only Bitcoin. Nothing else. Money.
So I was waiting for that. What they want from me. Because my more intelligent friends are more intelligent. That's why. And time goes by and nothing happens. I continue visiting them, and I see that they don't need my help. It was me that I need their help. So finally the relationship goes on, and really that's all. It's not very interesting, but it is really the real thing.
Thank you so much, very much. Thank you. You're a great sport. Thank you very much. What we're going to do is take one more on this issue, then we'll change the topic just slightly, all right? And my dear friend Elian, come on up here. I mean, I have to be honest, I've known this man for many years, and as I said before, Elian's wife was my boss once upon a time, so in all honesty, I don't like
comment
you. I
on
never
that.
liked you. I just want to tell you now, but go ahead.
My name is Elion Krok. My association with Chabad actually starts many, many years ago. It starts with my Zayda, who comes from Rakshek. I don't know if there's anybody in the hall here who has a Rakshek heritage. Obviously not. But anyways, you know, people have issues and they keep moving around. I'm not exactly sure where I'm from. I started off in South Africa, and I have the good fortune every year to come to the Kinnis and been coming here for many, many years with Rabbi Weiner from Chabad of Amshlanga. And I dare anybody to try and say that name if you're not from South Africa. But again, I've been moving around because we were in California with Chabad of Irvine, and I'm looking forward to seeing Rabbi Tannenbaum here tonight. And then I had some association, as you've heard, with Rabbi Perelmutter. Never got to his shul. In fact, I did get to the shul, but we used to meet on the golf course. Anyways, and then, you know, people in America, they talk about a machlokas. We, coming from South Africa, don't exactly know what a machlokas is. We know what a faribel is. And for those of you that don't know what a faribel is for 1 ruble we'll have a machlokas. But anyways, moving on from there, we moved to New Jersey, to Rabbi Kasevitz and to Rabbi Klar. And now we should be in the lower west side. We're actually in the upper west side. I don't know what's upper about it, but it's the upper west side with Rabbi Kugel. And there's more rabbis in the upper west side than the whole of perhaps South Africa. Anyways, what's so special about Chabad? One of the points that I just like to pick up is people here, you know, it's unbelievable to see somebody from the Reconstructionist to say Baruch Hashem and to be talking about Hachnochstes Ochem. And that's what Chabad's all about. To quote one of the rabbis, and I don't want to embarrass him and say it, Frum, who wants to be Frum? You want to be Jewish. And that's what Chabad's all about. It makes people Jewish. If it's whether it's on the basis of Hachnochstes Ochem or on the basis of reality, as Rabbi Lieberman was speaking earlier, connecting Shemaim with Tochasaf and Tish. We're all sitting here, or standing and sitting on Tochasaf and Tish, but which is the reality of the physical world, which is the connection. But we need sometimes the connection with Shemaim. And the rabbis of Chabad, and it doesn't have to be the rabbis, it's the Balabatim, it's the Jews that are sometimes unfortunately involved when they're tzoros, mishtatfim b'tzorah, that they share in our pain. And that's what Chabad's all about. So I want to wish you all a kinnis. For those of you who haven't been here, you're in for a real treat.
Thank you very much. Give it up for, where did he say he was from? South Africa, California. The guy is on the lam, let's be honest. Okay, he must be on the lam. The guy's moving every 2 minutes. He's moving somewhere else. Okay, he's wanted. All right. Anyways, gentlemen, what we're going to do is maybe we're going to switch gears just a little bit. I mean, we've heard many wonderful stories and from people, real, whose lives have been changed by their involvement in Chabad. And we think as rabbis, we get together here at the Kinnis that we're doing a good job, we're on the forefront, you know, and everybody talks about, you know, what's Chabad's success, where after the Pew report, everybody's falling, Chabad is growing, more centers are being opened up, more centers are being opened up. You're going to come tonight, for those who are here for the first time, you're going to walk into a room with 5,000 other people. You're going to look around and you're going to say to yourself, my God, look what's going on over here. And if you lose your rabbi, you're in big trouble. Because you're going to be looking for a guy with a black hat and a beard. Forget it. Where's Waldo? You can forget about it. So we know that we're doing something right. And I think that our success is what Elian and many of you have said, that it's relationships. It's the fact that Chabad rabbis and Rebbitzins have gone out there on the inspiration, of course, of the Rebbe, who was drilled into our heads that there's no such thing as judgmentalism. There's no such thing as an ordinary Jew or a plain Jew. No matter where they come from, no matter what they know, what they've learned, what experiences they've had, a Jew is a Jew is a Jew. And you have to be able to reach out to them, whether they're very knowledgeable, semi-knowledgeable, observant, not observant, and give them all this very, very same attention. Because every one of us is a child of our patriarchs and our matriarchs, and that's what makes Yiddishkeit and Judaism so great. And I think that that's one of the places that we've excelled in, is to be able to know that when a partner reaches out, and of course partnership means, you know, we ask you for your how do I put it cleanly? Money, that's the word. We ask you for your money, and we know that we of course, and then like all of our fundraising sessions tell us the same thing. Share with them. They think that the money comes from heaven, so you are our partners both on a financial level, but you know that you are become part of our family. It's not about just of a congregant and a rabbi relationship, but really every single one of you is dear and near to us, on the sense that you are our family. And I'm people that live in the Upper West Side, of course, and like Elian said, a number of different shows, but I see my colleague Rabbi Brook here. He probably left. He's over here from Montana. I mean, this is a place where, you know what, that it is his family. I mean, the people that come to his shul, I mean, he's far from his, from his family here in Brooklyn, New York. And the people that come to Chabad of Montana, that associate with Chabad of Montana, really become Rabbi Brook's family. And then all the simchas, when he makes them, if whatever's going to simchas going to be in this family, that's the true nachas. And that's the true building block of what Chabad is all about. So I'd like to ask everyone here, whoever would like to get up, in your Chabad house, we all want to better ourselves and with creativity and new ideas. If there's something in your place that your rabbi and rebbitzin do that you think that is creative and makes it special in your place that you would like to share with us, not only your story, of course, if you have an interesting story, we're always willing to listen to something great. But if you have something that is really unique that you think that everyone here in this room would benefit from, I'm asking you, please, don't be shy. Come on up and share your story and your idea with us.
Hey, my name is Don Levitt, and I'm from Sugar Land, Texas, right outside of Houston. And
one friend was applauding for you, the other guy from Houston. All right?
I got you. And anyway, I may be one of the only guys here that have actually been to Chabad twice. I left Chabad. I went to Chabad for a couple of years, and I left it. And we don't really have to go into why I left it, but I will tell you that my rabbi, who's here in the audience, Rabbi Fagenson, he must have called me 100 times. He must have called me 100 times wondering, why aren't you coming back? Why aren't you coming back? And then a few years later, I was exercising at the 24-Hour Fitness, and a fellow named Steve Weltman was in Chabad, and we would have long debates at the 24-Hour Fitness about religion, because I was very interested in just religions in general. And he said, you really need to come back to Chabad. And I was scared to death because I didn't know if I could see Rabbi Fagenson again, because it's like, what do you do after you leave? So I came back, and he says, just come with me to the synagogue, Steve and I, and we'll study Tanya together. So I says, okay. He says, Rabbi Fagenson, I say, he won't be there. He says, no, Rabbi Fagenson will not be there. Well, then I finally saw Rabbi Fagenson, and it was like, what am I worried about? What was I worried about? Rabbi Fagenson, we have a Hasidus class at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, and a lot of the times I'm the only one in the class. And when you have a rabbi that will come to synagogue just to teach one person, I mean, that really means a lot to me, because I've been associated with rabbis that had quotas, that literally had quotas and wouldn't show up, not for minions, but 12, 15 people. So when you have a rabbi that shows up for one person, that's pretty cool. I'm glad to be associated with Chabad and Rabbi Fagenson. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a great. So what you're saying, Yusuf, I can understand that your connection really is through the study of Torah, the study of the Tanya. I forget what Rabbi Fagenson looks like. He looks like a nice guy over there, back there. But it's a wonderful, wonderful lesson, of course, because we think so much about the outreach work of Chabad. You see them on the streets. You get harassed walking down the street, peacefully going to your office, and they start chasing you. Are you Jewish? Are you Jewish? Are you Jewish? Really, one of the great success stories is about the Limud Torah, about the Torah study that we do. Whether it's 1 or whether it's 100 people in the class, it's that connection through the Torah that makes our relationships even stronger. There was a great rabbi, Rabbi Chaim Gutnick, who was, I don't know if he was the chief rabbi of Australia, but definitely he was way up there. And in his early years, he had wrote the Rebbe that he was doing this program for Taras HaMishpacha, for family purity, and he put out this tremendous publicity on, all over the city. One person showed up. One person. So he was disappointed. So he wrote to the Rebbe that, he did the program, and one person came, and like he said, in his mind, like one person is worse than nobody. Because if nobody comes, you can always say, wow, we sold out. You know, there was just not enough room in the place. But if one person comes, they know the truth. So he wrote to the Rebbe that, he's kind of disappointed, one person after this kind of publicity and all of that stuff. And what the Rebbe said to him is, you don't know that the whole program was just geared for that one woman. That one woman was waiting all these years to come to hear you speak. And you should never be disappointed, because when you talk to one neshama, you save the whole world. So whether it's one or whether it's 1,000, so wherever we are and what communities we are, some are in larger communities, some are in smaller communities. It's not the quantity, although it's nice to have the quantity, but it's the quality of the relationship through limited time. Thank you for bringing that up, sir. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. Guys, sir, if you don't mind, come on down here.
Hello, everybody. My name is David Levy. I'm from Bulgaria, and this is Nasko Dinkov.
1 second. Where?
Bulgaria.
That still exists?
Yeah, that still exists. Yeah, that's such a small country.
I thought I didn't know if Bulgaria was one of those countries that Soviet Union broke up. It comes, it goes, it comes. Is Putin taking it over?
No, hopefully not. There's a story. There's something very interesting about Bulgaria.
I'm joking about Bulgaria. We know what Bulgaria did in World War II. We understand about the Jews in Bulgaria. I'm a Holocaust survivor's kid. I forgot to mention that. That's why I'm a little, little nervous. But thank you very much for being from Bulgaria.
The only country in Europe that saved all the 50,000 Jews that lived in Bulgaria. They stood against Hitler.
Give it up for Bulgaria.
But what I want to talk to you about is freedom, because we are in the land of the free. My experience with Chabad is experience of freedom. I have never been very observant Jew. My friend Nasko is much more observant than me. And I lived in Israel for many years, and I was reluctant to go to a synagogue. It frightened me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to pray. And when I moved back to Sofia with my family, and I met our Rabbi, Yosef Salomon, I had the feeling...
Is your rabbi here?
No, he's not here. He's coming later. Unfortunately, he's not here.
I know, sorry.
I had a very strong feeling of freedom, that I'm not obligated to do anything. I can go to Bet Chabad whenever I want. I will be accepted there. There's nothing that is compulsory, that you have to pray. You have to do it 2, 3, 5 times a day. You have to come to Shacharit. There's nothing that you have to do. It's all freedom. It all comes from the heart. And when it's not something obligatory, it's much easier. It really comes from within. And I started to find myself going more and more to Chabad. Not enough, not like Nasko. He's going much more. But every time I go to Bet Chabad, every time I open a book, and every time I pray, I feel free. I feel that this is my choice. And this is something that I haven't seen in any other organization, in any other synagogue. This is only in Chabad. This is typical of Chabad. And that's why I started to move closer to Chabad, closer to our religion. And I feel that I'm not doing something wrong. I feel that I'm doing the right thing, because this is my decision. That's what I wanted to share with you.
Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Gentlemen, I would like to share my experience with Chabad and how I got involved with Bet Chabad in Bulgaria. I lived in Canada for many years, and I moved back to Bulgaria to do business. One day, a friend brought me into Chabad, and I got introduced to the rabbi. My relationship with Chabad really changed my life. We have this extraordinary rabbi who is working, who does grassroots work about 18 hours a day tirelessly with little funding and great difficulty. But he really has a way to draw Jews back into the Jewish tradition, Jewish religion, and to the study of Torah. Now our organization in Bulgaria and attendance of Chabad grows dramatically. We have minyan every day. Every year, there is a prize called Pritzker Prize. It's a prize for architecture. So every year, the architect that wins the Pritzker Prize becomes a celebrity, world-class celebrity. Every year, this prize is given to architects that built enormous big structures in New York, Dubai, and other places. 3 years ago, however, an unknown architect from a rural community in Australia got the Pritzker Prize. I think for his contribution to build houses for poor people in the rural communities. I think same goes for our rabbi, who works in a very small community of less than 2,000 people across the country with multiple Chabad centers, but he does this great work which does not draw a lot of attention, but over time he builds and builds and builds, and that's why we come to a time where now so many Jews in Bulgaria really feel Jewish and really study Torah every day. So
that is incredible. Thank you so much. Thank you. By the way, right after this session finishes, we're going to go into lunch, and after lunch we have the Deputy Prime Minister from Bulgaria that is going to be here today to receive an award from Chabad on behalf of World Jewry. I'm going to give of course we have a little bit more time, but I just want to point out here, after these men's testimony, and we didn't pay them, they're unpaid, right? You're volunteers, you're totally volunteers. I just wanted to mention that in 1950, when the Rebbe accepted the leadership of Chabad, and at his first public Farbrengen said that, you know what, listen, we're going to take over the world. And if you see pictures of that Farbrengen, and if you were in Crown Heights and you went upstairs in this small little room, and Rebbe sitting at the table, and around him is an army of ragtag people, a few Holocaust survivors, a couple of American kids, a few others, and they're looking at the Rebbe and they're thinking to themselves, what's this man talking about? A European that came to the United States of America just several years ago, comes up here, sits at this table, and has the audacity to say here with 50 people surrounding him or 80 people surrounding him, I know how many people fit in that room, that we are going to take over the world, that, you know, that Yiddishkeit is no different, like his father-in-law said, in Europe and in America, and we're going to do it because we're going to focus on reality of what Judaism really means. That's reaching out to every Jew unconditionally, and we're going to go, and people were saying to him, yeah, okay, look, you know, look, he's new on the job, you know, he's got to work his way in, it's going to give him a few years, he's going to become realistic, and, you know, then he's going to tone down, because, you know, first when you get in there and you're the new president, of course, you know, you talk a good talk. The Rebbe's message from that first moment was so consistent for the next 40 more years, that every Farbrengen, every public gathering, every time he got up to speak, his message was always the same thing: to reach out and to do for someone else. And right now, I don't know how many of you are taking the happiness course at JLI, which I think they themselves deserve a great round of applause for the great work that JLI does, you know, for adult education for Chabad. We're doing the happiness course, and we've learned, and studies have shown that if you do for someone else, if you give, if you invest in someone else, your level of happiness shoots up. And the Rebbe understood that. And he gave that his shluchim, that, you know, it's all about the someone else, the reaching out and the touching. And we see here today the unbelievable reach that Chabad has. And the old story is that there's two things you can find throughout the world: Coca-Cola and Chabad. You know, wherever you go, I mean, I wasn't making up from Bulgaria to other places that we have people here from Estonia, Kathmandu, you know, Cambodia. And the Rebbe's vision is being seen every single day, and this gives us tremendous assurance that the Rebbe's final vision, we're not there yet. I mean, as much as we've grown and as much as we're being successful, the final vision will only happen when Mashiach Tzidkenu comes, and that's absolutely going to happen as sure as the growth of Chabad. Mashiach is on his way, and he will be here soon. Thank you very much. Just to let that. All right, sir. I'll get to you, but he's sitting right up here. So we'll give him the mic. You don't even have to stand up. We got a mic right here. Please introduce yourself and tell us where you're from and how you accidentally got into this room.
Hi, my name is Barry Goldstein. I'm from the Washington, D.C. area.
Well, that's too easy. Washington, D.C.
Right.
You're also from Washington, D.C.? Where are you from? Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
Yeah, my connection is actually through Rabbi Zalman Mendelsohn in Wyoming. You're looking at someone who could best be described as secular. I didn't even know what that word was until I was in Israel for the first time a number of years ago. And finally, when I heard that word, I said, "Oh my God, that's who I must be." But I was struggling, and I continue to struggle with, I guess, my identity. On the one hand, I have pushed my Jewishness, religion away. On the other hand, I feel something that I just can't seem to get rid of. I had the opportunity to read a book by Jonathan Sacks, Letter in the Scroll, and I'd have to say that changed my life. I already knew Rabbi Zalman Mendelsohn, and in answering your question as to what I see happening and what I could offer as advice for other rabbis around the world, Zalman would go out of his way to connect me with who I needed to see and talk to. A few weeks later, I found myself in conversation with Jonathan Sacks' assistant. A few weeks after that, I found myself talking to Jonathan Sacks, who was on a book tour, and he was visiting our area. So Zalman would put me in touch with who I needed to see, who I needed to talk to on my own journey. I'm currently involved in the study of the Tanya. Zalman has put me in connection with this tape by Jacobson. I had some questions, so a week later I find myself in conversation with Rabbi Jacobson. So who can have this kind of access? I don't know how someone gets that kind of access to this type of wisdom. But I go back and I still find myself on this struggle, and on the one hand, I'm still pushing it away. On the other hand, I'm feeling with all the problems in this world, what can I do? And I feel like I'm part of something, of people that goes back thousands of years, and I feel like there's some wisdom there that matters to this world, and it's somewhere within that is I guess where I need to fit, and that's a big part of what I see with Chabad, and that's why I support.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to point another incredibly critical point that this gentleman had mentioned, that the Rebbe was never really looking for, oh, by the way, give it up for Rabbi Mendelsohn. I didn't see him back there. He was hiding. Give it up for him. And the Rebbe was looking for leaders. There's a great quote from Rabbi Tzvi Freeman's book, 365 Meditations, and he writes in the introduction that the Rebbe did not become great because he made us believe in him. He became great because he made us believe in ourselves. That he sent people out, and not only the Chabad rabbis, but he wanted everyone that ever comes into contact with Chabad to become a shliach themselves. That they themselves are empowered. That if they know an aleph, you don't have to get smich. You don't got to be a rabbi. You don't have to wear a black hat. If you know an aleph, you know a beis, you know a gimel, reach out to that other person. And we've seen it's incredible how many lives have been touched this way. I got to be honest, gentlemen, we're coming down to the end. I'd like to spend the rest of the afternoon with you. It's a pleasure, but we're going to take two more gentlemen that have asked to please come, and then maybe if we still have time after the two gentlemen, but I promise, sir, and you, sir, if you don't mind getting behind the mic, please, if I can ask you, I know this is not easy in a Jewish crowd, keep it short, to the point. You got
1 minute.
One minute. There you go.
So I'm Michal Ben Tevye from Bozeman, Montana. My Rabbi Chaim Shoel Brook and his wife Chavi, no question, have absolutely changed our lives. And so we're extremely grateful. I'm originally from Baltimore, did not participate much in my synagogue, come out to Bozeman, Montana to fly fish and to ski. Okay? New? What happened?
What happened?
Okay, so now...
You saw him on the ski slopes?
Right. So the Tanya and the Mishnah, so I'd like to tell you all that December 16th, I will be completing the 3-year course of reading Rambam. And
my gosh.
That was a chapter a day.
1 second. Is this in Montana?
In Montana.
Rambam in Montana.
Rambam in Montana. And
that's a new one. Come on. Well, that doesn't happen every day.
It's not just me. It's my study partner, Seth, who's also going to be completing December 16th. And so the programming that you mentioned, the Power Hour on Sunday morning with Mishnah and Mysticism and Tanya and of course the JLI courses, and we're just enjoying, and thank you all.
Thank you. And thanks for keeping the... Thank you so much, sir. Give it up for whatever the guy's name... What's your rabbi's name? I spoke already. Go ahead, sir. Tell us where you are.
Well, I'm from Baltimore also, but I'm now out in Thousand Oaks, California. Oak Park, actually.
Forget it.
Close enough.
I did not know that. Is that your rabbi back there?
Rabbi Levine, yes.
It's good to see him smile. He never smiles.
He's awesome.
You ever see him?
I try my best to get him
He's
to
always a
smile.
serious guy, but if I be living in Thousand... Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
I grew up the opposite of the last gentleman in Baltimore. I grew up with fire and brimstone Judaism. And I have to say it was the biggest turnoff of my life. And I was brought up with it throughout high school. I mean, my entire growing up. And then I left it like you would leave anything that you felt was a brutal experience.
I grew up in Montreal, and my teachers were Holocaust survivors, and anybody who went to Lubavitch Yeshiva and Rabbi Engel could second that, and Rabbi Eliezer, so I know exactly where you're coming from.
This was punishment.
That's
right.
Yeah.
So
I'm there with you.
It took a while to get back, a lot of years actually, and it was a difficult challenge, but the thing that I fell in love with was the love that we feel all the time, the unconditional love. And I must say I'm in business, and business can be a brutal place as well. And when you have that kind of upbringing and then you're in a brutal place, it's easy to be brutal. And love is a difficult thing to find. And I must say about 3.5 years ago, I found it again in Chabad of Oak Park. And it's totally changed my entire life. To get to watch a great rabbi like Rabbi Levine go out and look for homeless people and people who need help, and to be willing to get down on a knee and, share with
You're
people.
talking about the same Rabbi Levine that I know?
The tzaddik of
What happened to him?
He's awesome.
He's awesome.
One thing I wanted to share.
Rehab does help.
Yeah.
There you should know. Rehab does help.
It's awesome. The one thing that I was looking for on my return, and I wanted to share very quickly, was I felt like I needed something concrete between me and Hashem to see that there was a relationship. And my lack of love gave me some very tumultuous times and had some very difficult financial times, which thank God I no longer have. And what was suggested to me was at the end of the Tanakh, God says the one place where he says you can test me. And he talks about that you should tithe correctly. Before that, he talks about how you're stealing from me, essentially. So the rabbi said I could basically use this as a test, and I did. And I started to give the same amount of money every single day. I decided I would give the same starting amount. And out of my own arrogance, when things would grow and flourish, if I felt it, I would increase it. Because God says, trust me, test me, and I'll open the windows of heaven, and blessing will overcome you. And that has happened to me in my life. I have to share with you, after 3 years of doing this day in and day out, it has grown so many times I can't even tell you. But this is a practical lesson. I feel it every single day when I'm saying, when you say "Ha'osher v'achavod milfanecha."
Gentlemen, did you hear that? I just want to make sure that everybody heard that message clearly. Here's your check. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that.
But that truly has made a gigantic difference in my life. And paying forward to Chabad is my absolute favorite thing to do. They help so many different kinds of people.
What's your number, please, sir?
I'll give it to you.
If you don't mind, can you text me your number? Because I'm not far from you. I can be up there in no time. I'm much better than Rabbi Levine. I'm much better guy than Rabbi Levine.
Lastly, if I could share with you what it's led to, is we've actually started a project.
Okay, no solicitation here, please.
It's the Shema Yisrael project. We've already mailed it to 10,000 households. Just to get people to just start to say those 6 words twice a day. And we've shared it with a lot of people, and they've told us it's made a huge difference.
Thank you so much, sir. Incredible story. Incredible story. Good news, gentlemen. We've canceled out the Vice Prime Minister of Bulgaria. We don't care. So we're just going through the afternoon. No. I'm sorry. So, sir, please, Rabbi Eliezer gave me the okay for a few more minutes. So take it away, sir. Tell us who you are and why you're here.
Okay. My name is Mel Kochberg. I'm from Toronto, Canada. And I just wanted to share with you a couple of quick items. But firstly, I should recognize the rabbi at Midtown Chabad, Nehemiah Deitch. Just like all of the preceding speakers mentioned their rabbis as incredible people, wonderful people, fantastic people, Rabbi Deitch is that, and in spades. He's just a tremendous, dynamic fellow, and he's changed my life and my wife's life, and our hearts go out to him for those things. This is my second year in a row coming to Kinnis. Last year I came for a specific reason. My wife, who's been my partner in life, we've been married Kanahora for almost 48 years.
Give it up. 48 years. Same woman?
Same woman.
Same woman?
Same woman. It says very little for her judge of character.
I was going to say that, but you beat me to it.
In any event...
Where did you say you were from, sir?
Toronto, Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. Just you might be interested in knowing that my wife is a daughter of Holocaust survivors. She was born in a DP camp in Germany, and she was born for a reason. She was born to
make your life happy,
make my life better, and act as a role model for people that she's come in contact with in her life, and she's done that. She truly is an Ashes Chayil. Anyways, she suffered with cancer last year, and for the first 6 months of 2013, she was getting chemo, and we got a very good report from her oncologist in October of last year, and that gave rise to my coming to Kinnis because I wanted to celebrate Hashem's miracle in helping my wife return to a state of much better health. And I came to Kinnis, and I really enjoyed it. And this year, I had an experience yesterday that I want to share with you. I arrived in Brooklyn here on Friday morning, and I went with Nehemiah Deitch. I went to 770 Friday night. That's quite an experience if you've never been there. I know there's people here that just come for the banquet and stuff like that. Now, if you've never been to 770 on Friday night, you owe it to yourself to be there. It's something to experience. But
once.
No, more than once. I was there last year, and I was there again this year. Anyways, yesterday I was in shul. You have no idea how crowded a shul can be until you're in 770 on the Shabbos of Kinnis. It's absolutely unbelievable. And I just want to tell you what happened to me yesterday very quickly. My father, who came to Canada when he was 20 years old, as he was born in Poland. He was an Orthodox person himself. He arrived in a country at age 20. He didn't know a word of English. And that's a heck of a difficult challenge. He got through his life and provided for his family and gave us material and spiritual. Anyways,
well-being.
He wanted me to be as observant as he was. Well, I couldn't, and I wasn't. And no matter how he tried to influence me in a good way, it didn't seem to work, okay? He passed away in 1998, and spiritually, I'm very Jewish. I love it. It means everything to me. And yesterday in shul, it was so packed. I can't tell you how packed it was.
How packed was it?
It's
good you didn't bring your wallet. It's good you didn't bring your wallet to shul yesterday.
If this room's got 125 people in it.
Chabad numbers in this room, there's 625 people.
I was squeezed into a place this narrow, and around me, the interesting thing was around me, there was, right next to me was a man from Antwerp, Belgium. Across from me were people from South America. It was so spiritual. It was so uplifting. And at that moment, when I felt all that, I sensed my dad right beside me there in shul. And I knew he would have been happy knowing that his message finally got through to me.
Thank you very much. Mel, great. I can second everything Mel said about Rabbi Deitch. I spent a Shabbos there with them in Toronto, even though I'm myself from Montreal, which we grew up not even recognizing what the city. How are the Leafs doing, by the way? When's the last time they won the cup? Never. Thank you very much. Okay, so I just want, just next year will be a better year for the Leafs. I hope not. But just in case, we love everybody. Listen, we all know that the roots of Chabad comes from this town of Lubavitch, which is in Russia, former Soviet Union, etc., etc. If you know anything about the Rebbe, you know about the tremendous love and care that he put into and the effort he put in for Soviet Jewry before it fell, before communism went down. I mean, that's where he comes from. That's where his roots were. And to finish off today, we have a very special message from someone that hails from that part of the world. And we have, what is your name, sir?
Berman, Yuri.
Yuri Berman, and this Vlad, you're his son? So Yuri is going to tell us a story, and Vlad is going to translate it. So please go ahead.
Thank you. My father is from Rostov-on-Don, which is in southern Russia, actually not far from the Ukrainian border. And he's there, the chairman of the local Jewish Community Council. I live in London. I'll translate if that's okay.
Спасибо. Thank you. 3 поколения нашей семьи в Ростове участвовали в жизни синагоги.
I don't know. I'm afraid already. I don't know. I'm already nervous. I don't know about that, but just that already is. I'm standing at attention. Go ahead.
We don't want to say anything, but you're not wrong. Just kidding. Just kidding. Three generations of our family have been involved in local shul in Rostov.
Сейчас мой сын в Лондоне, дочка в Тель-Авиве.
I live in London. My sister, his daughter, lives in Tel Aviv.
Я хочу сказать, до этого выступал раввин из Сум. Он сказал, что он любит людей, где он живет, что он их друг.
So before, in the previous plenary session on Ukraine, the rabbi from Sunni spoke, and he said that he lives locally, he loves the locals, they've become his friends.
За 25 лет, что я работаю в еврейских организациях, сотрудничаю с ними, я спонсор.
In the 25 years that my father has been working and donating to Jewish organizations in Russia.
И только сегодня я понял, почему Chabad лучше.
Only today he understood why Chabad performs so much better than everybody else.
Chabad любит нас и думает о своих людях.
Chabad loves us and thinks of us as its own people.
И это главное, и мы стараемся отвечать тем же.
And that's the most important thing, and we try to reciprocate in the same way.
Спасибо, это главное. Поэтому мы здесь второй раз вместе с моим сыном. Я думаю, будем еще не раз.
This is our second time at Kinos. Thank you very much. We hope to be back many more times.
In Yerushalayim Yerakaidish.
Actually, if I may just add one sentence, just from a point of view of London, we don't have the physical risks or the extreme poverty that you have in the former Soviet Union. But I think one thing that's incredible for young people, Chabad is probably the only organization that gives people the pride to speak up for Israel and stand up for Israel and Jewish values without being self-conscious in what today is a very generally fairly hostile environment in the UK and Europe elsewhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Yuri. Thank you. Beautiful story. Listen, I want to apologize to those. I know that there was a number of gentlemen that wanted to share their stories. We have to move on. Rabbi Eliezer is looking at his stopwatch already, and he's giving me the signals. So I want to thank you, and to the partners, not to the rabbis. I want to thank you all from the bottom of our collective hearts, because without you, our jobs would be incredibly more difficult, and our lives would not be the same. So thank you so very, very much for the help and support, encouragement, and the inspiration that you give us. May we all go together to Yerushalayim, and next kiddush should be together with Mashiach Tzidkenu. Thank you.